1. Dropping out of high school. One of the best decisions I've ever made in my whole life. I'm working with professors from NTU, NTPU. If you're not Taiwanese, then like here they are. You can Google them yourselves, but who really gives a shit if you have a diploma from the best high school or a diploma from the best college in the world?
Oh my god, what? Okay,
we're good. Welcome. My name is Jerome. That's I see no changes. Wake up in the morning. Okay. I've wanted to do this for a while now, actually, to start recording my life and start recording everything that I'm doing. And well, I finally found the time to do it now. If you guys have checked out the name of this channel, then I think it's safe to assume that you know that I dropped out of high school. I'm a 17-year-old dropout. I took a strategic gap year during my education, in which I will never go back to that education. I don't think there's really any safe way to say it. Okay, so I decided to start pursuing other things such as entrepreneurship. So yeah, I wanted to record and I guess just talk about what's happening in my life. Since taking this strategic gap year, I've been able to experience a lot of interesting things, a lot of very mind-boggling and amazing things you would not imagine a 17-year-old to do. And if anybody is interested in what's happening in my life, then you guys can listen, watch. Yeah, I guess let's just go straight on to this episode.
Stranger.
So first, what I wanted to start out with this first episode was a question a lot of people have asked me after dropping out of high school is, first, why did I decide to drop out of high school? That's a good question. Why did I decide to drop out of high school? Contrary to what a lot of people think, a lot of people being the teachers I had or a few family members, a few friends, was that it was never really because I hated school. I actually love the idea of school, as nerdy and geeky as that might sound. I actually love the idea, the place where you could learn and at the same time socialize with people your age, and especially in the society we're living in now, especially in, Taiwan. The antisocial and introvert kind of lifestyle is prominent here. You don't really get a chance to socialize unless you go to school. On the other hand, you also get to learn. But that being said, why I decided to drop out was based on a lot of factors, actually. First one being because I had so many more things going on in my life. Entrepreneurship, number one, and academics. As you guys can probably tell, my English is pretty good. So I decided to take the SATs, and I'm actually applying for some of the best colleges in the US, which is gonna be lined up here. Yeah, right. These schools. I applied for these schools. I might get in, I might not get in. Depending on my score, it's kind of a rough patch. But aside from that, was just, I honestly felt like I was wasting my time at school. I was wasting my life at school, especially when status quo that's set in Taiwan is a huge emphasis on studying.
肿起来了。
我觉得你不适合。
可以再次。
The only way to truly succeed is to educate yourself through books and learning the process of what algorithm can solve what problem, math problem, science problem, physics problem. That will decide your future. If you know me personally, then you know I'm not the smartest guy.
Oh my god, what? What?
I am the furthest thing from a pure book science education type of guy. So I never really enjoyed the idea of spending 9 hours a day in class studying, preparing for an exam which was gonna last for 2 to 3 days. Never truly showed somebody's intellectual prowess or intellectual capabilities. For example, SATs. I got a 1370 on my real SATs, but for my mocks, I actually got highest I got was actually a 1590. That's another story to tell. It's a very long story. It's hilarious though. Pretty good, but I'm saying all this from experience, from spending those 12 to 14 hour days constantly studying, pulling all-nighters just to figure out why this question was wrong, or figure out why this question was the way it was, and how it was structured, how it was based, and question. Honestly, finding the answer to it, but wasting so much time just to get that answer, it would have no real benefit to me a few months later. So I could never really imagine myself staying in school, especially since 高三, which is third year seniors in high school, are preparing for the 学测, which is basically the SATs of Taiwan. I'm not gonna go to college in Taiwan. Like, I would die if I went to college in Taiwan. I would, like, dead if I went to college in Taiwan.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Oh. Ouch.
So the senior year of high school is spent constantly studying. For an exam I was not going to take. Seems a little counterintuitive, right? I actually helped start and work with a lot of companies right now, working on God knows how many projects. As a project manager and being the youngest person out of the whole team, it's rigorous and it's filled with a lot of intricacies, a lot of amazing amounts of things, experiences and skills, and it's really showed me the type of person I am and put me in some very interesting challenges. A lot of situations where if I had not gone through the experiences of doing all this business work or entrepreneurial work, I'd never be able to go through. But yeah, okay, honestly, I've had a pretty crazy year. 2020 alone, I cannot tell you how many things have happened. Like, blow your mind happened. Just counting the time that's been in between when I dropped out of high school to now, which is gonna be probably here. It's been what, 4 months-ish since I dropped out of high school. Honestly, it's probably one of the best decisions I've ever made in my whole life, dropping out of high school. One of the smartest decisions I've probably ever made in my whole life, because the last 4 months alone, I've experienced so many things and I've gotten to meet so many amazing people. Just these people, for example, which you'll see here, I'll line them all out. I've gotten to know all these people personally or through a few parties and actually going to interview them. Honestly, just that alone has just been absolutely mind-boggling. The amount of things that I accomplished or that can be accomplished in such a small period of time. If I had never dropped out of high school, I would have been sitting in a classroom for 9 hours a day doing nothing. Literally nothing. So it's just mind-boggling for me to get to do all this stuff. Wait a sec, it's a little cold. Okay, I've gotten to know photographers around the world. I'm working with photographers around the world. I've gotten to know models, actors, actresses, entertainers, just amazing people in general. I'm working with professors at some of the best universities in Taiwan, which, if you're not Taiwanese, then like here they are. You can Google them yourselves, but basically just some really amazing universities. The main professors university I'm working with, his name is Mark Shope, is NCTU, which if you're not Taiwanese then you probably don't know, but in a basic sense it's the MIT of Taiwan. It's one of the Ivies of Taiwan. So we're actually working on a project 2, which is a podcast I helped start with the professor, Mark. I'll just call him Mark from now on. So, you guys are, with Mark.
We have maybe 2 minutes, 1 minute.
We started a podcast which has 2 names. The first name, the English one, is called The Shope Interviews. And the second one is 我的未来教授, my future professor, for those who don't understand Chinese. During that time, I've been able to meet so many more amazing people in Taiwan. Professors from NTU, NTPU, NTCU, all the acronyms of all those schools. I've gotten the chance to interview them and talk to them face to face, just being able to experience life a different way. Experience life that isn't very normal to many teenagers out there, because I decided to drop out of high school because it was the best choice for me. I wouldn't condone anybody to drop out unless you had a serious plan about what you were going to do, because that's what I had. I had a plan of what I was going to do after, and I knew that I was going to do it, and I had the evidence and the proof to back my claims. So as much as I might glorify me dropping out of high school, it may not be the best choice for some people or a lot of people. But if you honestly have a dream or you have an actual plan, honestly, we're living in a new age. Who really gives a shit if you have a diploma from the best high school or a diploma from the best college in the world? Experience kind of trumps knowledge in the real life, street society of things. So if you're interested more in what's going on in my life, I'll actually record more. I guess, what's the SOP for this? It's like, subscribe, like, hit the bell, hit the bell? Is that what people say? Is that for YouTube or is that, no, it's not Instagram, that's YouTube. Subscribe, like the video, hit the bell, and share, because sharing is caring. Even though you're not book smart, or even though you're not street smart, find your lane. My lane was dropping out of high school and working with businessmen, actors, photographers, models, and professors